Hi, Joe Bodek here, real estate investor and mentor coach. And as always, I want to thank you all for stopping by and spending a few minutes with me. Let me take a moment here to tell you guys a real life success story that hopefully will help to show you that becoming a transaction engineer is the way to go. In addition, you'll get a bird's eye view of what it's like to make it big time in our business. Our story starts out in 2002 when my partner, Wallace Zhao, first arrived in the USA. He came over from mainland China looking for the American dream. Didn't speak any English, didn't know our customs, didn't have very much in funds. He started out in low wage jobs, working at the supermarket, convenience stores, and any other jobs that he could find. Eventually, found work in the restaurant business, wound up managing a restaurant and earning a decent wage, but still wasn't enough. So in 2009, Wallace discovered real estate and he became a realtor. And there's nothing unusual about that, except for the fact that he generated over $180,000 in income in his first year in the business. Guys, I've been in this business over 50 years. I was a realtor at one time, 180,000 in income. You don't see many pros doing that, okay? But he did that in his first year. He didn't like the fact that about 30% of his income went to his broker. So he continued to look for opportunities and eventually he found creative real estate. In his second year in the business, he became a millionaire. Let me repeat that so I'm sure that you heard me right. In his second year in the business, he became a millionaire. Now he's a multimillionaire. Well, he did that by setting out to become a transaction engineer right from the start. As Wallace received leads in niches that he didn't know how to do, he sought out mentors to teach him how to do them. Now, I know this because he came to me to learn how to do lease options. That's how we met. And he told me that from my instruction, he cash flowed over $60,000 in the 30 days after I had sessions with him. So, for all of you homegrown Americans that are struggling to get into six figures and beyond, I suggest you take a lesson from Wallace. Wallace was able to do this because he became a transaction engineer, and any lead that crossed his desk, he learned how to deal with, and then turn the lead into a cash deal. So, how many leads do you throw in the trash every month because you never took the time to learn how to deal with them? How much time and cash are you spending to find those leads, only to trash 90 plus percent of them simply because you never took the time to become a transaction engineer? No matter what niche you're currently specializing in, you can rest assured that if that's all you can do, you're trashing thousands of dollars on a daily basis. Now, how about I prove this to you? I'm going to use wholesaling as an example. How about I show you that as a wholesaler, as an example, you're leaving at least 60 to $120,000 on the table every year. Now, I know this to be true because that's what I was doing until I learned better. Now, as with most new creative real estate investors, the first niche that I worked was wholesaling. Things were going along swimmingly until one day I happened to look at the trash can by my desk and I noticed it was filled with property information forms for properties that I had tried to get under contract but wasn't able to because there wasn't enough equity in the property to do the deal or the seller wouldn't take my low offer. Sound familiar? Should. Now, as I looked at all those dead and trashed leads and added up all the time and cash that it took to find them in the first place, dawned on me that there had to be a way to turn those dead leads into cash deals. It just defied common sense to work that hard to find them and then just toss them in the trash. So I don't recall how long it took, but eventually I did find other real estate niches. And I found one in particular that solved this particular problem. And I became a transaction engineer. Now I noticed that it took on average 25 leads for me to get one deal. Now your numbers may be different, but we're going to work with this number for the sake of the example, okay? So as I say, I noticed that it took on average 25 leads to get one deal. And to keep this simple for you, that meant that I was throwing at least 24 leads in the trash every month at a bare bones minimum. So enter wholesale lease options. Now I found that wholesale lease options worked almost identical to the wholesaling I was already doing and would allow me to turn many of those trash leads into cash deals because I didn't need tons of equity in the property and I didn't have to make lowball offers to the seller. Now, as a matter of fact, I could deal with properties with little to no equity in them, and I could give the seller a fair price for his property and still make a pretty good profit on the deal. So, first, let me show you how a wholesale lease option works with one of the hundreds of deals I've done. So, you'll see that it's almost exactly what you're doing right now. And by the way, I use the following example in many of my videos in case you've seen my videos before, because it shows how simple these deals are to do. No, it's not the only deal I've ever done. I get that question, right? No, it's just easy to show you how how the lease options work. So I get a call from a homeowner by the name of Dana who has a property about an hour from me, an hour and a half, and he's got a problem. He recently took a job in New Jersey. He's currently living in Pennsylvania. He's spending about 2 hours to get to work and about the same amount of time to get home every day. It's driving him crazy. He's living in his car, right? So he had a problem. He had to move to Jersey and get closer to work. This is what we call a motivated seller. He had a problem to solve. Now, I had spoken to Dana months earlier, but the property was listed with a realtor. So it went into my dead lead file, and I followed up by email about every 30 days, which is what you guys should be doing with your leads, right? And a few months later, my phone rings, and it's Dana. Apparently, the realtor he was using couldn't get the house sold, so Dana came back to me. We negotiated the deal over the phone. The result was a sale price of $235,000 with a monthly lease payment of $1,000 per month for his 4-bedroom colonial that was in great shape and ready to go. And by the way, when you're working with lease options, you deal with pretty houses in nice areas, so you don't have to worry about chasing after junkers. Now, I sent the contract to Dana by email using a company called DocuSign, which allows you to electronically sign documents over the internet. And I also got him to put a rent to own sign in front of the house while I placed rent to own ads, in Craigslist and the other classified real estate sites. I upped the price of the house to $245,000. And a week or so later, Joe, the contractor, calls me. He has a need for a bigger home because of a growing family. So Joe and I negotiate the deal over the phone, and I have Dana show the home to Joe. Joe wants the house, and after I do my due diligence on Joe, I send him a lease option contract via DocuSign, then did the assignment. And about 4 weeks after I put the property under contract with Dana, I had a check in my hands for $10,000 as an option consideration. Obviously, I'm happy. Joe's real happy. He's got a new house, and Dana's ecstatic, and he like a shot out of a cannon to go to Jersey and get a place to live, right? Now, here's the part you're really going to like. I never saw the house, I never saw it physically, saw pictures, obviously. Never met the owner face to face, never personally showed the house, never met the tenant buyer face to face, and never touched the house in any way, shape, or form. Everything was done through email and by phone, with the exception of the tenant buyer sending the check by snail mail. So as you can see, with only a few small adjustments, it's exactly what you're already doing. So how does this $60,000 to $120,000 of unrealized profit come into play? Well, as I already told you, I was throwing away a minimum of 24 leads per month. And I found that at a minimum, I could turn at least one, if not more, but at least one of those 24 leads into a wholesale lease option. Now, my option consideration on these deals range from $5,000 to $10,000. So if you do a little math, you'll see that I was able to add somewhere between $60,000 to $120,000 to my cash flow from leads that I was throwing in the trash, just like you're doing right now. So, as you can see, by becoming a transaction engineer, I was able to add a substantial amount of cash to my bottom line without making any changes to my existing business model. All I did was add one incredibly profitable niche to my business, take a little time to learn how to work with lease options. Now, if common sense prevails, well, okay, common sense, right? All right, let's assume it's going to prevail here, right? Well, that's what you should be doing too. Why would you want to continue to throw all that cash into the trash can now that you obviously know better? Now, the only problem left to solve is that you don't know much about lease options, but hang in there, I have the cure for you. The above example is just the tip of the iceberg. What if you had 6 different creative real estate niches that you could turn to work just about any lead that came across your desk? That is what I call a transaction engineer. And it just so happens that my partner, Wallace Zhao, and as I previously said, is a self-made creative real estate multimillionaire, and myself have put together a revolutionary mentoring program called the Transaction Engineer Mentoring Program. Now, our combined 60 plus years of real estate and experience allows us to teach you 6 different highly profitable creative real estate niches, and we'll even walk you through the deals from start to finish if you'd like. Now, this is one-on-one mentoring from 2 highly skilled real estate investors with millions and millions of dollars in done deals over the past 50 years. Now, our programs are designed for serious investors, guys. We're not looking for lookers. We're looking for serious people that understand that continuing to be a one-trick pony will never get you to the top of the mountain. As I said, we're looking for highly motivated investors that would like to become transaction engineers and be able to tackle any lead that comes across their desk and add thousands of dollars to their bottom line. So to get you on board to becoming a transaction engineer, you need to go to executivementoring1.com/programs. That's executivementoring1.com/programs. Or to make it easy, you can click the button right below this video where it'll take you to the page where you can view all the programs that we have to offer. And at the bottom of that page, you'll see a button that says application for mentoring. So click on that button and fill out the form. Very easy, simple form, 1 page. And my partner, Wallace, will contact you to set up an interview to see if we would make a good fit. If we do, he'll formulate a program unique to your needs. Guys, I just want to make sure you understand. We use this this application for a couple of things. Number one, you want to kind of get some information and know who we are, which makes a lot of sense. Number two, we don't bring everybody that applies into the program. Okay, we're looking for very serious people that want to be somebody. So we want to get to meet you and see if, as I say, we would be a good fit together. Okay, so it's simple. It'll take you about a minute or 2 minutes to fill out the form, and then send it. You'll send it to us, and we'll be able to evaluate it, talk to you, and see what's up. Now, the interview, by the way, is free. There's no obligation of any sort. And the thing you want to understand is that it never hurts to have a conversation. We won't know if we're a good fit unless we have a conversation. So if you're watching this video on YouTube, by the way, you'll find the link in the discussion section right below the video. Or I think it's on the side of the video, actually. And if you're watching us on YouTube, please be sure to subscribe to our channel. Turn on the notifications so that you don't miss out on any of the many upcoming videos. And we'd really appreciate it if you'd like the video and like our channel. And also don't be shy, because we'd love to get your feedback. So feel free to leave a comment. So if you're the serious investor that we're looking for, okay, I would suggest you get on this now. You will be glad that you did. And I can promise you one thing for sure. The interview with Wallace will not hurt a bit. So be sure to get your interview booked, and always remember that it never hurts to explore the possibilities. So Wallace and I are looking forward to assisting you to becoming a real estate transaction engineer. And as always, I want to thank you again for your kind attention. And that's it from here. Fill out your application and let's have a little conversation. All right. So again, that's it from here. Everybody have a great one. We hope to be working with you soon. Bye-bye for now.